Our game plan in beating Enigma6 is basically just shutting down General. He's their main slayer. If we can shut him down, then we should be able to win all of our respawns.
How I would describe EUnited as a team, they're very fast overall. They have really good chemistry, good gun skill. So when we play them, it just all has to come down to just us winning the gunfights and us playing smarter.
I definitely think they have the potential to beat any team here, but our current record against them with my current team is 1-0, so I think we can definitely beat them in the first round.
As long as we are consistent in our first 2 game modes this weekend, then we'll be fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Call of Duty Global Pro League Stage 1 playoffs, presented, of course, by the PlayStation 4. It's day 1 here at the playoffs. We've already had 1 game done and dusted. It's now time for match number 2. This one, EUnited going up against Enigma6. And I have a feeling this one may be a little closer than many people anticipate. I mean, we'll kind of kickstart that conversation now. Merc, I'm going to start with you. For E6, I mean, I feel like their key to success is going to be holding those uplinks. I mean, they were so good at uplinks specifically in group stages.
Absolutely. I mean, they're a fantastic uplink team. They're one of those teams who consistently move that drone, something they sacrifice their life to put that drone on the enemy side of the base, though. On the other side, EUnited, also a very good uplink team to me. If Enigma6 wants to win this series, they have to start off hot with game number 1.
Yeah, it's very true. They're inconsistent with their slaying. It's problem in their hard point, but even in their uplink, yes, they're a fantastic team. They probably play it better than anybody else in the entire world. But again, that slaying power inconsistencies. The only time they lost back in stage 1 was to Optic when they got brutally outslayed and they had like a 0.6 team KD or something like that. So again, if the slaying is not there, it doesn't matter how good of a team you are. It can be rough.
Proof, you kind of fancying them?
I'm fancying EUnited. It's going to come down to game 1. If E6 can win game 1, I see them making the series go to game 5. If they can be effective with their first bloods in search and not let a team out-trade them after they have numbers, they'll be a lot better. But yeah, I'm going EUnited in the series, and it's going to depend for me for game 1. Who wants that one? All
right, well, I mean, here's a look at our map set. It's going to be Scorch Hardpoint to kick things off, Crusher S&D, Frost Uplink, and then if it goes further, Retail Hardpoint and Throwback S&D. Looking at those maps, Merc, you know I'm going to ask you for a prediction.
Absolutely, but if you're Enigma6, you're very happy with this map set. I mean, I can really see them sort of taking those first 2 maps and then, you know, the classic EUnited reverse sweep where they start with that uplink, they go into that retaliation hardpoint where that's just their map. They're so good at retaliation. Yep. So we'll see if Enigma6 can come out hot in the beginning.
And it's worth mentioning as well, I do agree that the map set is very good for them, but it's going to be an uphill battle anyway. E6 is fantastic at every single game mode. There's not a map that they really struggle on, so E6 is great, but still very, very tough to handle.
And then the one bold prediction I'll make, if it goes to a game 5, I have E6 winning. Just Throwback S&D, them boys are fire on that map.
Is he crazy?
Yeah, he's a little bit. I love him. I love him, but he's a little bit crazy. I mean, yes, I think if you sort of look at the stage 1 stats, I believe EUnited did struggle in their week, but they're a team that has sort of revolutionized that map. So I think
I'm always a crazy one.
Hey man,
Handsome Joe knows.
So sometimes a little bit crazy is exactly what you need, right? Sometimes that crazy prediction could potentially come true. Chance, in terms of your prediction for this one?
Again, EUnited 3-1, 3-0, one of the 2.
You're just going straight.
Again, I don't see any way it's not going to happen. I think it's even going to be a struggle for E6 to win the uplink. Like their best game mode, it's still going to be an incredibly tough fight. And so when the game mode's not there, it's going to be much more difficult for them.
Well, excited to get this one underway. EUnited versus Enigma6. That's everything from the studio. We can send it out to our fabulous casters for the series. I believe it's going to be Maven and T.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, Proofy, I'm with you, buddy. I've made a career out of the crazy calls, the plays that don't make any sense. A Proof, but if you're up to, I'm with you. But getting into this, talking about the Scorch Hardpoint coming in, EUnited was undefeated. Enigma6 had that crazy back and forth map with Optic where Chance mentions they were outslayed, but I think they lost by 4. It took a perfect hold and hanger from Optic Gaming. So I think this is a winnable map for Enigma6.
Yeah, it could go either way. I like these first round matchups in this playoff bracket because it seems like a lot of these teams are quite even on these first maps. Both of these teams good at Scorch. In that previous series, both teams obviously really good at Scorch.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see them go head to head on most of all their best game types. So, you know, E6 could definitely come out in this one. If they can get that hot start that they had versus Optic and just close it out, this series could be quick for them.
But to back up the desk as well, it's like it doesn't matter, it seems. Like when teams have hot starts, a lot of times teams can get buried, but EUnited never. They never, ever go away, man. Doesn't matter how many times they're down 0-2, this team can fight back. Obviously, EUnited the heavy favorites here, but we'll see if Enigma6 is able to come up with the big upset. I'm curious, what do you think, you know, as being a pro player, when you used to be preparing for a match, were you busy scrimming, or were you watching that series more intent on seeing Splice play because you know that'd be your next matchup? And you can watch the VOD later, so you got to think they're probably grinding out a bit.
Yeah, you just focus on the current match, the first one at hand, one game at a time, is especially in a bracket like this where each team is so darn strong in their specific ways. I think you just focus on that first game first. But overall, talking about that reverse sweep potential from EUnited as well, you know, you have to start the reverse sweep on uplink. And I have to give a lot of credit for E6. I think they're the best NA team in uplink. As we saw throughout the groups how consistent they are in playing it. They don't let the other team get away without slaying them. They're so annoying when they don't have the drone in their hands.
They were perfect until the final match on Sunday against Optic, where I think they lost by, what, 1 point on Frost, I think it was. So they have played very, very well in that particular mode. We were talking them up big time in week 4. Let's see if they can keep it going. You know, we talk a lot about the man you see on the left there, General, and he says he's Mr. Do-It-All, and to this point, he has. I mean, whether it's slaying in any mode, getting it done with the objective, the guy really gets it done. But I know coming out of week 4, you were high on Proto as well. I think he led the team with like a 1-2 in S&D where he went big, but through all game modes, you really liked his gameplay.
Oh, definitely, and the role that he plays, especially with that E-Rad, we just saw it with Splice right there. When you have so much pressure, like Jerd and Bance, for example, that duo with the E-Rads are so scary.
Yeah.
I feel like if Proto had someone that could be that sort of secondary E-Rad aggressive player with him, it would do a lot of good for this team, but the fact that he can do so much by himself is so impressive.
Well, we'll see. They're going to need every bit of that from Proto and the rest of the squad here if they're going to take this from EUnited. Let's spend a little bit more time talking about the EUnited squad, though. I mean, I talked to Arcities a little bit, and you heard it kind of in the video coming into this, and I was just like, you know, what's it going to take? You know, how are you guys going to beat them? And they were like, it's EUnited going up against Jordan General right now. Like, they feel like if they slow him down with as consistent as he's been, that they're going to be able to take this. And Arcities, I mean, I know he's been good all year, but has he stood out to you more over the past month and a half? Like, where you're just talking about him, Octane, Formal, all these guys kind of on the same page?
He plays the game differently. It seems like he's always in the correct spot. Obviously, he has a good shot. Most of the players here have that.
You would hope so if you're a top 8 team in the world.
But the big differences he makes is how much he plays his life, in my opinion.
Okay.
A lot of the pro players preach aggression, always challenge, always trading, doing things like that. But Arcities really slows down the pace for his team. And when he can do that and always be getting those spawns for the crucial hard points, it just makes, you know, Bristini, it allows him to play a lot more aggressive. So I think that sort of duo-ship works well.
And it's interesting that it works with how slow he can be at times. That works with the team, how fast they play. We talk about EUnited, like a guy that takes flack for that sometimes. You know, Aches will be familiar with this. Is Assault takes flack for sometimes playing a little bit too slow, too far behind the pace of his team. But I'll tell you what, with this squad, it certainly works. A shot at Bristini right now. Talk to me a little about him as the player. But he's maybe the one we don't talk about as much. But is he that gap filler? Is he the X factor? Is he the karma on this team that seems to be able to get it all done? Where do you kind of slot him into this roster?
He seems like a moody player, honestly, but that's sort of the role that sort of goes without saying with how fast he is playing. He's going to be that guy in Search and Destroy that it can be frustrating when you're putting yourself on the line that many times and getting taken out in a first blood scenario. When those aren't going your way, it's one of the most frustrating things, having to basically watch your team in a lot of those rounds. So he's really up and down, but when he's up, these guys can, you know, we know what they can do. They can win tournaments.
Well, we did a video leading into this event about Enigma6 and what it would take for them to make a playoff run and take the event. Let's take a look.
After finishing second in Group Green, Enigma6 qualified for the CWL Global Pro League Stage 1 playoffs. Here's a look at how Enigma6 can walk away as champions. Enigma6 used it outstanding.
We are back, and unfortunately, that is actually Rich Campbell's accurate voice. We just didn't want you guys to spend too much time with that, but I can tell you that is exactly how he sounds every day.
Yeah, that would get a pretty good. So we're back.
Oh, man. All right. So, guys, I believe there's just an issue upstage, a tech issue. We should be into this shortly. Thank you for your patience at home. I know you guys are excited to keep going through day one. So far, we'll recap in case you're tuning in with us. I know you were on the desk. We can talk briefly about what you saw. And the question I know I had when I came out of the green room was basically, was that Splice being that dominant, or was it typical EG slow Friday? Not typical. What, we've seen them slow start. We talk about their losers bracket runs. You think a little bit mix of both, or how do you feel after you watched it?
I guess right away I would say a mixture of both. EG just looks flat. We don't see that Nameless that's fired up and ready to go, and it really came down to that first Scorch hardpoint. I knew when they lost that one, the rest of the series, Splyce is too good at the rest of the game types. Looking at the previous statistics in those map types in the group too, Splyce just too darn good. It's going to be interesting to see how EG bounces back. The competition here, every single game is going to be so tough. I believe they play the loser of this. Both teams extremely good.
Yeah, that's where it gets scarier. But talking about the matchups kind of here with percentages for your hardpoint, S&D and uplink for EUnited Enigma6, you touched on the fact that E6 brightest spot is going to be that uplink. What do you think would be the second game mode in which they have the best chance? I know how well-rounded EUnited is. We talk about it all the time. But if they're going to take another map, where's it going to be?
I think overall, I'd probably say a hard point, but I think EUnited's just too strong, too consistent overall. So I think that map number 2, Crusher, is going to be one of the only other saving graces in this series. I do think if E6 is going to have a chance in this one, they have to try and get it to that throwback, because EUnited's hard points is on Scorch and Retaliation specifically, which are the maps for this series. Those are too strong. I don't think they have a chance.
Okay. Well, let's go back. We got a little time here before this kicks off. Let's talk. We were mentioning about that come from behind mentality, or whatever it is, that special sauce for this EUnited team, where no lead seems to be safe for the opposition. Just for maybe new viewers, what do you think it is about this team that allows them to do it? I know this has been a question on analysis and between the casters all year, because for a lot of us, they're newer players. Gunless came out of nowhere. This team sort of came out of nowhere. But now that we've had a little more time with them, what is it, man?
This sounds really weird, and
I like weird.
Almost cliche to say. It's like they don't care, and that's the perfect mentality you have when you go down in a hole in a series. I've made a lot of reverse sweeps in my career to win tournaments even, and you get to that map 3. And when you're so consistent on that map 3, it's the swing game. We call it that for a reason. When you can come out and completely shut down the momentum. You shut it down, you'd be like, I'm too dominant in this game type, you can't stop us, and you give yourself another chance in like a hard point, for example. Hard point, huge momentum in the series, so you get that uplink in the back pocket. You get the hard point, which is, intense, fast-paced, lots of gunfights. If you can win that one, then going into the map number 5, you have so much confidence, so much momentum. You play that last S&D how you should have played previous in the series, but you finally have the mental confidence.
Well, I've been casting since what? The tail end of Black Ops 2, basically, and I swear, I'm curious, you go much further back, obviously. Yeah. Does it not seem like just beginning kind of last year, the whole reverse sweep just started to happen more and more and more? Like last year, I thought it was kind of the CTF uplink combination,
yeah. But
it feels like that's kind of carried right into this year. Like you never feel like leads are safe, and I don't remember thinking that back to like the Ghost days. That, oh man, team's up 2-0, this is done. I just wonder why there's been sort of that shift. But we have seen so many amazing comebacks over the course of, well, the entire year, and specifically here in Stage 1. I mean, I think we had the FaZe Rise series. EUnited did it 2 or 3 times. What will be the outcome here? I do believe the lobby has been started up, so hopefully we'll be into the action here shortly. First map will be Scorch Hardpoint. And God, I mean, do you think EUnited, if they don't care, do you think they're feeling any pressure right now in this particular matchup at all?
I don't think they feel pressure in general. I mean, for the amount of performances we've seen where they've been down in a hole throughout the MLG Open, the huge tournaments at Atlanta that they were able to win. We saw them at Dallas, always able to fight back in these series on. It seems to be a similar issue where they start slow in certain series, but they don't feel the pressure, they don't care. We've done a bunch of listen-ins with them. Their communication doesn't really change that much. It's actually crazy to see.
Well, I think we talked about it. We joked around on Hot Mic last night how we'll hear about, like, Gunless and Silly. They were out, hanging out doing stuff till like 3, 4 a.m. You'll wake up and see their tweets, and then they'll show up to the matches and just annihilate everyone. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, if I'm a player, I'm embedded. I got a Chipotle burrito and I'm in bed at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It's just insane. But you think it started maybe with the chip on their shoulder to start the year when a lot of people doubted them. That has long disappeared. Is there like a little bit of you, or is it completely gone now where you're like, maybe EUnited's not a top 2 team, or is that completely washed away at this point?
I was like that for a little while. I wasn't sure.
I think everybody was.
How consistent they were going to be. That's gone. Completely gone. You have to give the respect where the respect is due for how consistent these guys have been.
I'm with
one of these players, and for how good Gunless has been, especially with this ERAD. The guy's slide kills, you can't match it.
Well, really, we talk about just movement mechanics in previous games where you can get that edge, get just that, that first peak. Gunless, one of the best in the game, if not the best, at finding those kills. 15 seconds on the clock, and we'll hop into this. But let's touch on Gunless a little bit. You know, you talk about the movement, but what else do you think has allowed him to just blow up the way he did and still remain a pretty humble guy through it all?
I think it's just a team dynamic, to be honest, and the reason I say that is the little things can get you pretty far early on in these maps. One thing I want you guys to note in the bottom right, double cluster grenades for this first hard point. You know, this is very contesty side. If you can have these 3 tacticals in your back pocket, you can just chuck these out. Look at that. He's picking up so much free damage, not putting his life on the line. Yes, he does take a jammer to the face, but he can single-handedly, with those 2 nades, stop the team pushing and now gets aggressive. They have the hard point.
Well, how many times do we see if you're spawning this side, you a lot of times come out to a 30, 40 point advantage. That's a reason why those early picks for sides when teams are deciding on what position they want to attack for off the rip. This is one of those maps where it can be big, but look at the kill feed. Arcity's 2, Gunless 2, everybody shut down, and Enigma6 getting beat up a little bit early.
It's such a good strategy off the start. You don't even have to take a gunfight. You just chuck all those jammers. You know, with the rest of your team, you can throw out 9, 12 grenades at a time. Now the rotation coming in. Arcity's playing this perfectly. On a 4 streak now, trying to lock down these spawns. There is one player that is sneaking behind him, but in a very good spot.
Yeah, finally he'll get shut down. He was able to kind of thread the needle between 2 players to even get into that position. But if you see Enigma6, you got crushed early. You do have the opening spawn for Turbine. The question is, will EUnited get an early break? First kill goes the way of Proto and E6. Proto picks up 2. Next guy in is going to be Gunless, and he's able to win it. One more player just around the outside, and Arcity's, again, his duo there with him.
Wow, that's an easy break for EUnited here. General does pick up 2 a little bit further out there over towards Lab. Gunless going to be the last one alive. The spawn out going to be so far. Gunless going to try and buy time, and this is a perfect play. Almost picks up the 2nd kill, but there's no point to just stand in the hard point. He tries to take as many down with him as he can, but as we say that, E6 scoring back very heavily.
Well, you know, they got the close spawn as quickly as EUnited took it. Enigma6 grasp it right back. We'll now see if EUnited has time for another crack, but you don't want to find a lot of kills here and spawn out players for Enigma6. Look at the minimap. Yep. You've got 2 players already set up at hangar. There's a top spawn that comes in for EUnited, so they're going to be able to push through the top and try to win these. That actually worked out very favorably for them getting the spawns there by Skybridge.
Definitely. Now, hopping on board with Emery's, he needs to take his time, let his teammates flood up towards the map. Well, he didn't do that. It's a huge mistake. He needs to just play his life. There's no chance you're going to have in a 2 versus 4 situation right there. Should have just bought time.
Well, talk to me a little bit about how you try to break this hard point, because we sometimes see teams try to bash through one angle. It doesn't work. What's your ideal sort of break and push when you're trying to flood into hangar?
Step 1, trying to get around the back, what General was just trying to do, but Silly able to get that trade on to his teammate. Now spawns a bit of a split spawn scenario coming out. Silly able to call that out to his team, and now it's a bit of a race towards this back door. Prasini needs to pick up this first kill. So E6 doing a great job fundamentally of getting around, but you see how much time this is taking? You can play it fundamentally correct all you want. If you don't get the kills, it doesn't matter. And now EUnited just pulling away so heavily.
And 5 in a row for Pristini. He's soaking up time in the hard point as well. A hell of a start for him. 8 and 6. He's only 100 off picking up the Trinity Rocket as well. We'll swap over to Gunless's POV as he's the one trying to pinch the outside and get set up for a final hard point in our first rotation at Drill. We'll swap back to Pristini just because he's still going to be working on these streaks. We'll see if he's able to pick him up.
Great play, just taking his time, trying to find just an easy kill in the side or back. He's going for this wide flank. He's going to call this out to his teammate. He needs to just take his time. All he needs is 1 kill. He does see the health bar of his teammate. Just, Cade with some nice shots in that head glitch. A bit of a tough gunfight. I don't recommend taking those when you're playing for streaks, but regardless, you have to give props to E6 and especially Cade for getting that double.
Well, look at it. You got streaks kind of building for everybody on Enigma6 now. 3 streak for both Proto and General. The lead duo for this team. Proto holding the close edge for drill control. Erad in his pocket. Has to back down. It's Cade looking over the top, but Pristini answering back for EUnited with a couple of kills for himself. But General, he's always that one that seems to be the last in line, right? 3 kills in a row, 6 overall. General's fully streaked. Make it 7, 12 and 9 for him. The guy is an absolute beast, dude.
Didn't miss a bullet for about 2 clips there. EUnited does get the rest of the about 7 to 8 seconds of scrap time, but General just so dangerous. He can just light up the scoreboard at any time. He's going to have those streaks in his back pocket. Expect those in middle. Yep, going to pop them out right away. Pops this Trinity. Doesn't seem to get too much, but he's forcing those players to stay back in hangar. Meanwhile, Cade just hanging out in the hill, gets that first gunfight, has this FTL at the ready as well, and they're going to get a lot of hardpoint time here.
They're picking up time, and we may see a lead change. Here it comes. E6 now in control. And this is a map, man. They need to try it. They have to take this. I feel like if you want to have a really good shot of a major upset against a top 2 team in North America. Kills going back and forth. E6 still, we're going to get control. General snapping and lighting up the bodies.
Wow. He probably shouldn't have gotten that kill onto Pristini. Gets traded out. And the fact that E6 is able to get so much of this hardpoint, they didn't have to worry about those cluster grenades this time around. They're able to fight for a lot of this scrap, and this is a huge play. All 4 of them backing up towards Turbine. They need to get the number advantage. Unfortunately, General does get picked off. He should be spawning out so far back. Yep. Yes, he does. So now, even number situation, these trades are going to be absolutely huge. Cade picks up 2.
Cade picks up a couple, but Gunless still is inside. Again, combining with Arcides here to get it done, but now the bombardment, he's gonna have to push in. It's gonna catch him. General Streaks coming up big, and while they're fighting back and forth, I wanna talk a little bit about General. You know, with your experience playing, sometimes it seems like the other 3 are like just throwing their bodies, but you can like always rely on him to kill everyone then. Like whatever's left to be cleaned up, he gets it done. For you, you know, you used to be a submachine gun player, objective player. What's it like to have someone, I guess, that consistent kind of looking over your back?
I guess the one thing I would sort of relate it to when I was at my dominance was sort of how Clay played back in the slower days, where I could just rely on him to be in a good spot at any given time, and I can just play sneaky, I can play fast, I can really do whatever I want, and it really opens that door for the rest of your team to be comfortable. Arcides, I have to note, just absolutely destroyed that guy in lab to get this break. This score going to be just about even as these fights for the spawn go down. Gunless picks up 2 with the E-Rad over towards this backside. Expect him to slide in very quickly. Can he get the gunfight? No, but he opens the door for his teammate. General shuts it down. So a nice hold for these spawns for E6. They're playing these spawns fundamentally really great.
Another one of those times where it seems everybody's soaring in and General's the one there cleaning them up. He's using the teammates as bait, but very, very effectively. Cade's watching mid, General's watching Lava Pit. Easy pickings for both players as they continue to hold the advantage. 25 points now in growing for Enigma6, but it's Pristini trying to bust it. Pristini with 3 big ones. How's he get the final kill? Finally, Cade, last man up, and you got the favorable spawn in the back for E6, so you should be able to hold on.
I just don't know how he gets in the front door. Silly. Trying to do his best to stay alive, but E6 has those closer spawns, like you said, so they're able to chip away at the last 20 seconds or so of this time. Gunless alone, so they do clear it out. Now, we were talking a lot about General in this game. We have to highlight Cade as well. Going to be on the rotation over towards this left side drill. He was largely the reason they got so much time on that second hard point on this rotation. He stayed alive for so long at bottom lab, and then he got that bombardment help from General. So it's sort of these two picking up so many kills in these crucial situations.
Well, think about how scary they can be if he's a bit more consistent. He was a little, he had some monster games, I think, in week 4, and he was the lowest, I believe, in overall respawn KD, but we saw him with big plays from time to time. If they can get those, they can make this a very tight series as they still hold the edge. Over to Gunless, though, now, who has camo. He gets annihilated as he peeks the edge. We'll swap to Arcides, who's on the flank. 2 players teed up, finishes 1, can't finish the second. There's a 7 streak, though, now from Ruiz. If we can hop over to his POV. Ruiz fully streaked out, 8th outside, but he's got some streaks to work with. How crucial could those be down the stretch?
Really just buy you time, whether it's at drill, at middle, over towards turbine. I really recommend saving them. They have the lead. They don't need to do anything drastic unless they want to try and close out this game. But these hard points, these next couple, you know, it's going to be hard to do it. I'd wait till turbine.
Well, that's what you got to see. Can Enigma6 come up in the clutch moment against a team like EUnited, who thrives in the clutch? Pristini has his reactive armor to work with. A Scarab in his back pocket as well. He gets pushed. Nice little bait and switch there as Silly's able to pick it up. Silly then FTL's in, and players looking over him. Reactive armor popped on the backside of the drill. Gunless and crew flying forward. There they finish it. Now in control. Still down 20 points. We'll see if they can rack some up here, though.
Gunless making the switch to the K-bar. I feel like he just was trying to put on too much pressure with that E-Rad, decides to switch it up, and he picks up an easy 3-4 kills in a row. Just so dominant with all these different weapons. These are huge kills. Now E6 can focus on this time and this rotation as well. Gunless will be the last one alive. Proto picks him up, and now the rotation kills are going to be coming in. A 4 versus 2 situation basically on this next hill as Emery's chases.
What do you think about the bombardment use there at mid-map?
You know, it wasn't the greatest, to be honest, but it does open the door for something to happen for your teammates. You know, EUnited trying to do their best to claw their way back in. You don't want to wait too long, right? So I can kind of understand.
Well, gotta say, Ruiz trying to play sneaky in the back there, Teep, but he does get caught. Arcee's picked up a nice 3-piece at mid-map that opened up this push. A team kill then comes through for General onto Proto. For now, still a battle, though. General in a position to fight. Gunless, though, picks him off. He's back to the E-Rad. And EUnited has it locked down. Looking for a lead change here momentarily. Should be a push into observation deck. Pristini's able to turn, but not able to finish the kill. Reese has now used his Trinity, so all those streaks have now been used up. You don't have the extra utility on the side of E6, but they might get the break right here. I think they just found the final kill.
That Trinity rocket was huge. Emery's pops that down to pick up that Claire in the hill. As you swap on board, General just picks up his 30th kill. He's just so dominant of locking down this lab. Doesn't need any help from his teammates. They don't get the trades out. EUnited spawning out so far. This game's going to be over very quick.
Well, let's see. Can we get to Gunless's POV? Because he has camo. This is all going to come down to him. He has to get the break. There's going to be the first kill. Can he stay alive to get in a position with the camo? There it is. Camo now over the top. Has to get into the contest. E6 only needs 4 more points. Not able to win it, though. Ruiz gets it done. The final 2 ticks. No, there it is. E6 gets the W, and that is a monster win in game 1.
Very impressive. General does it again. Has some help from Cade. And as long as a couple of these players can just play up to General's potential, this team is really good and quality slaying.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect them to do it consistently all the time. I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, he's usually somewhere above a 1.1, which is elite stuff, and overall respawn. The other guys are sometimes lucky if they're over a 1 over the course of the event, but he's been the hard carry in that mode. But when you get someone that backs him up, whether it's Proto in one game, Cade in another, Ruiz in another, if one of those guys steps it up, you see how deadly they can be. Yeah. Both these teams basically undefeated coming in Scorch. I know the one loss you had for E6 again was a 4-point loss and a crazy comeback from Optic in week 4, but it was a winnable map. They got the first one done. But it's never easy when it's a best-of-5 versus EUnited.
Definitely. We're going to be going into Crusher next, and I feel like E6 really needs to take this one. You can go into your strongest game mode in uplink. They can really take this momentum and get this 3-0 if they can keep it up. But overall, very dominant on map number 1. The fundamentals so darn good from them, and they shut down Gunless, most importantly. They had him switching around weapons. He just didn't seem to get any sort of comfort there.
Well, we'll take a look at the box score here momentarily just to talk through it a bit, Teep, see where the damage was really done. What stands out for you, buddy? Is it a stat from Ruiz, like him going 1.26? That might be one of the single biggest factors. Yeah,
he started off, not really too bad. He was hanging out over towards even, but him getting those streaks, it was really that Trinity rocket onto that last turbine we saw able to break in there. And that's where they're able to get 89 seconds versus only the 48 for EUnited. When you're able to get that many streaks, those are so darn good at middle, at drill, at turbine. You can see that's where they kept first hard point pretty even, but those other two took it over.
Well, let's shift focus now to search and destroy. So E6 led all playoff teams by having a 60% first blood rate, which is absurd. Yeah. They then on Crusher doubled down on the absurdity and had an 81%. But what's crazy to think about is I remember I was talking to Chance, there was a map where I think it was 10 rounds against Optic where they had 8 first bloods and still lost. So there's only so much stock you can put in first blood, but I think we can agree that's probably your most important stat in search and destroy. So does that stat alone give them a good chance right here? If they can find those first bloods, you got to think as long as they trade effectively, they can beat just about anybody.
So first bloods are very important, but a lot of the times the manner in which they get the first bloods, they sacrifice them right away and they don't get the number advantage.
That's true.
And that's the whole point of the first blood. They sort of play those differently, which sort of skew the stats in my opinion, where they send Pristini into that 1v1 scenario, and most of the time he's able to at least make some sort of magic happen and pick up a kill, but a lot of times they don't have that trade to back him up, so the number advantage that he does end up getting doesn't mean that much, I guess.
Well, I remember looking at I think it was JP that put together that, did you see the quadrant stat? We're talking about like active, good player in S&D. Basically, when it came to first bloods, you had like slow and good and active and good, depending on how fast you got them and what play. Proto was basically at the very peak of aggressive and good. Like he was getting first bloods and staying alive, and that's part of the reason he probably had that 1.2 KD in week 4. Did you see something from Proto that like really stood out to you? Why he was seeing so much success last week? Because I mean, I know Optic was trying some new things in search. Right. They were talking about that publicly, and Elevate and Red Reserve didn't exactly look great throughout the course of the weekend, but it's still, I mean, it was impressive stuff from Proto.
I think it's just overall confidence. We haven't seen that many ERAD players stick out that much. They've had their moments of greatness, but Proto for me in that week 4 was one of the best ERAD players I really saw throughout the group. So you have to give him credit. That weapon's so good at those close quarters, and when you're that first blood player type of guy, especially on a map like Crusher, if you get in over towards the A side, those close sort of hallways, corridors, ERAD's gonna be dominant.
And I'll be honest, I mean, even coming into the final week of the Pro League, like I even as a caster, I focus too much on General at times just because you look at the stats, you read articles, and he has been kind of the face of this team. But that was the thing I probably I took away the most from week 4 was how good Proto was. I mean, I know in the green room, we just sit there and we talk so much about the matches and like some of the nerdy stuff he was doing, whether it was an uplink, in search. The guy's an absolute animal. But it is time now for game 2. Can Enigma6 keep it going? They got the upset in the game 1 on Scorch. But off the break, we do see Pristini for EUnited is going to have the sniper in hand.
Interested to see where he's going to play this one. Expect him to go up towards this middle alley, see if he can pick up any sort of information for his team, or maybe go over towards B. Has this EMC in the back pocket. See if he can pick up some kills late in rounds.
Do you find it weird that like Pristini snipes on Crusher, but then if you go to throwback, it's usually Arcides? Like I can't remember many teams that switch who their sniper is depending on the map.
I guess it's just a comfort level thing. Certain players just feel better at taking certain shots. Obviously, these guys play a lot of Search and Destroy. Get ready for these one. That player on the other side just flirting with the scope of Pristini right now, but pretty slow round. Seems like both teams just trying to feel it out. General does get a bit up on that B side, going to call that out to his team, and you see the instant rotation from the bomb as he clears that one out. Pristini misses that shot. Proto almost takes him out. Gunless answering back.
I'm curious how he got the jump on Arcides there, if it was a high off the wall run, and I mean, you didn't really hear anything. There was no rotation. All of a sudden, the first blood comes in from General. Ruiz now getting the bomb down. It is going to be a 3 versus 3. General POV. Silly guns him. Now advantage to EUnited. Ruiz still holding the close corner here on the bomb. The collapse should be coming in shortly. It's going to be Proto watching the backside. Proto does win one. Turns into a 2v2. Ruiz up over the top. No! No! God, that was ugly. All right, but we're still in it. It's going to be 2 versus 1. Proto still up, trying to play his life. I think there may be one on the bomb. He's got to go. Got to try and make a play. Can't win the gunfight. EUnited able to clutch up. Ruiz lost his feet a little bit there.
That's why that spot's a little bit dangerous. You don't really have much room to work with, obviously. He got a little bit panicked in that gunfight, backs up and falls in the hole. At least trying to take out that player. He misses the shots. He misses the floor. He's having a bad day.
To be fair, we have seen that happen before, but usually we've seen someone get the kill and then maybe go off. But that was a bit of wild shots and also a dip off the map. Okay, offense now for EUnited. Nice start from Silly and Gunless, both starting 2-0. Cade gonna see some pressure at the A site, has to back up immediately. What are you seeing from the offense in EUnited?
Just pretty much straight up aggression, which we're used to seeing on Crusher specifically, just getting up towards this A site or whatever bomb site, just going together as fast as they possibly can. Gunless leading the charge with this bomb site, or with this bomb over towards the bomb site. Gonna try and lay this down as Silly locks down these top steps. Looks like Pristini, if we can switch on board with him, gonna get a bit of a late flank going, but General sniffs it out, takes him out. Great play.
We talked about the stat. Overall, 60% first blood, 81% on Crusher, 2 first bloods in a row now for General. They continue to get it done, but again, they lost the round. So what do you think the problem is if you're getting these first bloods and not closing out rounds? Is it just the fashion they're getting them? Because you can't really say that. I mean, General got 2 and got away safely, but there they at least are able to get the defuse while all the fighting going down in the mid lane. But why do you think that is? I'm just curious. I mean, because in that first round, you got it very, very safe. Had the 4-3 advantage of bomb planted, and things just kind of fall apart.
I think overall, just making plays you don't need to make when you have number advantage. Why do anything sort of fancy in a scenario like that? Like, why is Pristini going for a flank? Why are you flanking in the first place? The whole idea behind getting a flank is catching someone off guard and getting number advantage. You had it already. A bit of a waste.
Well, let's get over to Silly here. Okay, so he's 225 off the tourney. He started out 5-0. He's going to get the Scarab out as well here. Looking over Arcees, he's going to wrap the edge. We'll see what vision he can get. Did spot one. General does get cleaned up there as well. So Gunless now going to get a first blood to his name. It's been the Silly and Gunless show for the side of EUnited.
Pristini did wait, hold up. Did he not realize what just? He just stared at Proto in the back and was polite about it and ran away.
Did you think that was a chair?
He had a big shield on his back.
What the hell was that?
What? I'm confused.
Aches is in my ear. Like I am also very, very confused. But oh god, now all of a sudden Ruiz by him, his lonesome. Can he clutch up here? Silly looking to find the final kill. Still alive here. Ruiz trying to clutch up. Arcides over the top though, able to win it. And I'm still thinking about Pristini's.
Did he get that? That's close. I think he did get it. He got that slide and instantly picked it up. It's going to be close, though. Gets the defuse. Oh, my goodness. 0.2 seconds. Emery's, if he could have stayed alive for a sliver longer, would have clutched that round in that 1 versus 3. But Why didn't he? Why?
Hey, well, it doesn't matter, Teeth. They got the round win.
Okay.
So we've seen somebody just kind of hop off the map casually. We now have seen Pristini just, I don't know, spot check someone. But okay, let's start out on round 4.
Interesting.
That was a very, very odd round.
We have to note Silly. He is 6-1, but they shut down the streak. It's going to be very important going in the later rounds of this one. Gunless, though, you can see he's really close to that camo. Silly has the FTL. Payload abilities at the ready for EUnited.
Let's take a look just at the minimap right now as you see a bit of a flank coming in and the Scarab pushing on through. General wants to see if he can finish a kill as it doesn't connect with anything. Just going to back down safely behind the rock. Cade hitting from the other side. General does end up dropping to a nade. Cade's he's got to get that kill. Shot's a little bit shaky. Not able to pick it up, but pushing forward. He's just going to be left now with Proto to get it done. Finally cut down Proto in a 1v4. Silly, go ahead, uses the FTL in a 4v1 scenario to save his life.
I know.
I guess we were working on streaks. Maybe he's just padding the stats right now.
Protecting the KD on that one.
Yeah.
He was 6-1. I think he may have gotten a kill or two in that one. So making sure that KD's nice and pristine. You know, these guys are fighting for MVPs.
That's true.
You know,
that's true. That's true.
Every death matters.
Okay. Shot of the EUnited guys. Let's go to Gunless. He has camo. It's a part of that is the bomb defuses, bomb plants, and 4 and 2. He always gets camo.
Always. Sometimes 2.
Yeah.
Pretty dominant.
Okay. All right, so now let's see the offense start to work forward for Enigma6. They've gotten to the site. Now it's all about the retake for EUnited. Talk to me a little bit about what it's like to retake from this side as a team. Do you like the 4-man hit together? Do you like the pinch? How do you like to do it?
I like Gunless using camo and killing people. But regardless, E6 not wasting any time. Kills going down like crazy.
My God.
And okay, they're dead. Well, you don't need to retake if they just give you kills. So, yeah, that's...
I don't know if that was like an awkward time. They weren't ready for them to all be at the corner as 4 of them soared across the top. But the entire Enigma6 team was obliterated in 3 seconds.
Well, I thought there was just going to be normal. Gunless was going to pop camo, get a first blood, and they'd wipe like that. Well, E6 made it a bit easier.
They did. They certainly did, team. Silly on your screen. He's had a fantastic game throughout this. Enigma6, though, on the other side of it, trailing 4-1. And you can see at the top right, Gunless still has that yellow glowing circle. We'll have that camo to play with at a later date. And with a 3-round advantage, things begin to get very scary. Gunless finds yet another kill. Grand over the top, trying to back up a couple. 2 push the wall run. 1 gets traded out. He should be there to finish it. Now it's just going to be Cade left in a 1v2. And knowing Gunless has camo, even if this gets scary. Okay, well, he guns Gunless. So that's going to keep him alive for a moment. 1 more in the back, though, and that's another round to EUnited.
I thought he saw that player in the door for just a minute, but no, he doesn't. Gets traded out in that 1 versus 2. EUnited taking a dominant lead. Gunless still going to have that camo. Expect him to close it out with a first blood to end this one very quickly. And I thought E6 was going to be better in this one, especially coming off of that momentum in the hard point. I just feel like they aren't playing these rounds too well, trying to do too much in a post-plant scenario. They need to try and slow the game down when you have an advantage. It's just not working. They're not gunning like EUnited is.
Well, you were on the desk for the last series. It's similar to maybe problems you saw for EG as they got rolled?
Yeah, somewhat. But the reason with EG is they're playing too slow. They're playing kind of scared. E6 is making sort of an opposite of a mistake where they're playing too aggressive in a scenario where they have an advantage. But regardless, Silly stuck in a 1 versus 3, gets punched. Bye.
Yeah, there's the 1 bullet farewell. There's another round now on the board for Enigma6. We'll see it here from Cade's POV.
They have a chance.
You can see why Silly dropped so quickly there.
Yeah. They have a chance here. Now trying to force this way into a comeback. Down 1-5, now 2-5. That was a really quality round, and that's how simple a lot of these rounds could have been for E6 in my opinion. But when's this Gunless camo going to come out? They are on offense now and not wasting any time getting up towards middle of the map. Let's see if you can spot any sort of players and maybe pop this camo to get a first blood.
Camo up. Not needing to use it yet. RC's got the first blood, and Gunless is just running right now, playing the bait basically as RC's picking up kills from behind. Everybody's dropped. This is going to be game over. 6-2, EUnited completely roll. And, you know, you'd want to maybe highlight the camo in the sense that Proto was, what, a quarter of the way getting there, like 2 and 6. But why do you think it is? Typically, for all teams, you see the camo player playing with the bomb plant, right? You get those points, you work towards the camo. We don't see that happen. You see Gunless doing that. You don't see it happening on the other side. I think Cade had 4 of their bomb plants. Is it simply they want to allow Proto, he's so good at finding those first bloods, they want to let him roam? I mean, you have to have him playing the bomb, right?
Yeah, you just got to have a payload that important, that influential in the game. You got to give it to your bomb planter. So maybe give it to someone else. Maybe give Proto an FTL or something like that that allows you to play aggressive. If he's going to be playing that risky role, you can't have your camo guy dead the majority of the game.
To be fair, I don't know that mattered too much.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have, but still.
With 6-2, not that big of a deal. We are now tied up at 1 apiece, heading into Uplink. Who's going to take it? We'll find out after this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got a tied up series here. EUnited going up against Enigma6. Maven here, joined by the ever wonderful TP. How you feeling, buddy?
Feeling good. I'm loving these series so far. High quality gameplay compared to the groups a lot of the time.
Except for the search at times.
Yeah, that search was a bit weird, don't get me wrong. But going into this link, both teams extremely strong at the game type. E6, like I said, I think they're one of the best NA teams at the game type. I'm expecting them to take this map 3.
I think it's kind of a similar storyline to what we saw in the hardpoint, in the sense that both teams were almost undefeated. The only loss for Enigma6 came, I believe it was like a 6-5 loss on Frost to Optic, so their only losses in these game modes coming from Optic. Let's take a look at the search and destroy scoreboard here. EUnited take it 6-2, and Silly, I mean, he started out 5-0. He had one hell of a game.
Oh, definitely. Just dominant. We've seen it so many times on Crusher specifically, where EUnited just group up. They might be sending Pristini on a flank or a push up towards the middle to get a first blood. But regardless, just quality, confident gameplay overall. E6 trying to do too much in post-plant positioning and just over-challenging. When I think we can all say EUnited's a bit better at gunfighting than E6 is on average. So the fact that they're trying to play so confident, I commend the style of play, but you got to settle down.
I'm curious, I want to talk about how you think the momentum changes here, because I know I talked to somebody like Clay. He doesn't really agree with the whole momentum swing game as game 3. He thinks it happens in the search. Like, for whatever reason, he believes if you come out, you win that hard point, and all of a sudden you get stunned in like a slower gameplay search, it just flips the series on its head. Is that how you feel it's kind of gone here now that EUnited won? I mean, they're completely back in control. Is that hard point basically gone in the rearview window?
In the mentality, yeah, definitely. We can see EUnited not get tilted by basically anything that's happened to them since they formed it as a team. But overall, I don't think it matters in which map it happens as long as you stop the momentum. So EUnited stopped the bleeding early. I really thought E6 was going to play that S&D better, but regardless, they don't. EUnited really stomps them out. So going to be interested to see if E6 is going to be as dominant after losing, getting much basically crushed on Crusher.
Well, let's talk a little bit. We spoke early in the series about how good the Enigma6 team was in uplink in week 4. What was it about them that stood out for you? I know we talked a lot about it, but you were really impressed with their gameplay. Talk to the viewer kind of through what you liked.
A lot of the times I highlight what teams are doing when they have drone possession, but for me with this E6 side, it is a bit different. I think when they don't have drone control, when they don't have numbers at the middle of that map, they do such a good job of being annoying. They have that one guy playing a corner, picking up a kill in the back, so the other team has to focus on that first, besides moving that drone forward. And obviously, if you aren't moving the drone forward off of kills, you aren't going to score as often. So basically, with the way E6 plays, so annoying at the middle of the map, it makes it so hard for the other team to score points.
And one thing with the EUnited that's been kind of, I don't know, the one lone fault you can see at times in a player that's been basically perfect. I mean, he's been phenomenal throughout the year. Gunless has been incredible, but we noticed a lot of times, I think it was like 50% of their uplinks, he wasn't earning the camo. And I talked to him in the team outside. He's like, you guys aren't bait enough for me, man. Like, give me some more kills so I can get the camo. And like, in a way, I mean, he's joking, but honestly, yes, you need to sort of set them up for success. You need to get that camo. I'm curious to see if that's one of the issues they run into here, is it plagued them a bit during their week.
Yeah, definitely. As many times as possible, if you can get him scores, whether it's 1 point, 2 points, as many kills as possible. If you get that camo, it's basically, from what we've seen, a guaranteed dunk. Obviously, there's times where teams don't pop it at the best time, but I don't think we've seen that from Gunless.
Yeah, for the most part, they're making the play. Okay, here we go. Game 3, series tied up 1-1. On with Arcides. Peekaboo comes around the corner and able to take out Cade. 1 kill going the other way as well. It's none other than General opening up with 2. Unfortunately for him, some nice shots with Gunless around the back, and Proto gets obliterated.
Nice head glitch there, buddy. You're dead. Gunless leading the way now, going to be the lead blocker. 2 players floating up towards the middle of the map. Drone carrier going to be right behind. Does he pick up his first kill? Pinches that player out of the sky. Just absolutely crazy lead blocking. Arcee's moving this drone. This should be an easy dunk. Has Silly there with him. Can they pick up the kill? Silly trying to stay alive, but Clade clears out. 2-0 lead early.
It did the damage, though, and I mean, that opens up with Gunless kind of mid-map. I know he ends up getting taken out, but comes up with some big kills there to get drone control. But now it's E6 on the attack, trying to make the play. Ruiz waiting for his teammates to pick him up in front, trying to go through. There's the dunk. Tie game. Some heavy action here early in the uplink.
Yeah, not wasting any time. Cade picking up those 2 kills in the base really allowed them to get so much pressure over towards that ship side and answer back. So quality plays. Cade still holding strong. 125 away from the streaks. Oh my gosh, I thought he was going to get that kill. Fortunately, Gunless takes him out with that E-Rad. That was good movement there.
I like it, though. I like it. You know, you're feeling confident. And it's a nice little streak. We saw Cade go on the hard point as well. Starting out well here. Just a little bit off the streaks before he drops. Now it's 3 down for Enigma6 and drone control for EUnited. They're taking around the top side. Silly has dropped it down, so he can be the lead blocker here and try to find some kills. Gunless, again, involved in the kill feed. Silly, though, can't snap onto the second. Teammates should be able to finish it up. Pristini is able to get it done. Got a drop drone for the moment as Ruiz able to make the stop on defense and shuts down this push for the moment.
Good play from Gunless there, not trying to force a play up towards that middle ice path. Throws the drone, accidentally steps on it.
Awkward.
It's taken out. Unfortunate there, and that's why you don't really see the drone taken up towards that top side blue so often. It's so hard to get up towards those close corridors. Makes the kills for the other team so easy, but regardless, Emery's over towards the back, tries to get this throw over top Cryo. The interception comes in, a huge play. Teams are so good at that now. Oh my god.
I love it. I love it. Those are the tougher ones, right? When it's coming at kind of an off angle over the top like that, but Gunless able to make the play. He's had a nice start at 7-3. Arcity's on the other end will end up dropping. Drone in the hand of Enigma6 as they're trying to bully their way through the front. General is able to win one, but Gunless on the flank man, wraps in from behind with the ERAD, stops the push.
Both teams holding strong at those sort of weird situations where it's like a scrappy scenario, 2 versus 2. One player does get that flank, ends up taking him out, but the drone's not working over towards that ship side that we're used to seeing, and that's why these scrappy situations continue to happen. Arcity's moving this drone. Silly does pick up that kill behind him, though, so he might have a clean route over towards this drone point. One player waiting. Emery at the point. The drone does fall down.
It's still there. It's still a dangerous spot. Cade thankfully able to get it off and then send Arcity's to his grave.
Weird situation. Emery's holding strong again at blue. It seems like he's the guy that's going to be holding it down. Gunless doesn't pick up that kill. General just snaps onto that player. Silly gets taken out. So many trades happening. Arcity's going to be the last one alive over towards ship. Gets taken out, and now E6 has control of drone and ship.
And now they're trying to push in. 2 players trying to slow them down for EUnited. Everybody getting cut down. Silly the last remaining. He gets drone off the map, but does end up dropping. There's one in the close corner here, actually. That's going to be Arcity's playing kind of a sneaky spot, make sure they can't get forward, and has an ERAD in his back pocket and laser beams General at the edge there of Dozer. For now, it's just a bloodbath at mid-map teeth, going back and forth until finally Enigma6 gets all 4 down. EUnited now on their back foot. They're coming off a spawn. RC is already able to find one, and Proto tagged up, has to slow it down.
Good play using that wall run to stay alive as long as possible. Cade moving this drone up very quickly. Gets caught on the wall just for a second there. Can't slide out and get that 1-point attempt off. Proto gonna be the last one alive over towards middle alley. He's cleaned out. So both teams just holding strong. I don't think either team's playing necessarily bad when it comes down to those tense scenarios where pressure's being put on with the drone. They clutch up, they hold strong, they get the kills.
And we've had a couple, sneaky little plays, whether it's been Gunless, Arceus, Pristini as well, just kind of playing a close corner, shooting people in the back. It's something we praise D6 for doing actually against Optic Gaming and their series on Throwback. But this is another dunk for Gunless. And EUnited, they've got control. Him and Arceus have gotten points on the board. 20 seconds though remaining. Can they get any more points? It's going to be Gunless controlling research. Pristini wrapping back for drone. He's able to snag it. Trying to head around the outside. He still has Gunless working inside. Gunless has found 1 kill. Trying to lead the way forward. Gunless has found a 2nd kill. They may find points in the final 5 seconds. Gunless is still here. Does he have time to do it? Picks up 1 more. They've got the drone. It's up. It's picked off, I believe, from Enigma6, so they get a nice pick there to close out the half. Make sure no more points go on the board for EUnited.
I don't know if I should highlight this as a mistake, but the reason EUnited got that dunk is we saw Proto off spawn go around blue over towards that left side ice path, and he took so long to try and get behind them over towards that middle tractor as the drone was moving. EUnited has numbers over towards ship, and it turns into easy dunks. So that's why those long flanks, if they take too long, if you don't catch those 2 players right away, they can get away from you. That's exactly what happens, and EUnited takes advantage.
Well, taking a look, we talked a little bit about, Gunless, maybe difficulties getting camo. He's well on his way there right now. It's a nice start at 14-8. But he's not, why do you think he's not as involved in the action maybe as his teammates? He is in the kill department, but look, he only has 8 deaths. Is it just winning gunfights? Is it the way he's playing curling through that first half? I was just surprised to see how few deaths he has compared to the rest of his team.
He's just staying alive so long, and it's because the drone was moving over towards that top blue side. He was usually the lead blocker with that ERAD. I love the streak use here. Going to pin those players into that bottom building. There's just not really good gunfights they can take. The spawn kill coming in, they get the easy dunk, and this is something that Gunless specifically is so darn good at. It's like he's playing a pub at times. He gets those streaks at the best moment. Now he's going to pass it off to his teammate. He's already got the streaks. He's close to the camo. Going to give his teammate some streaks as well. Now they're going to take turns getting these spawn kills. This is where things get really bad really quickly. We talked about E6 being so good at uplink, but they're getting slayed like this. It's not close.
Well, this is terrifying. Arcity's at 8 streak now finally drops. Wow, the first half was close. This second half has been just an absolute bloodbath for Enigma6. EUnited been rolling over them. And yeah, so you had the streaks right for Gunless. When he calls those in to push them back, they're pushing literally into Arcity's, just L-trigger there with his K-bar, and then he gets fully streaked out. That was not a good 60 seconds of gameplay for E6.
Just beautiful stuff, using those streaks to get those spawn kills and pinning them in to that backside. Allows your teammates to get streaks, just quality stuff. General trying to do his best to stay alive. Him and Cade seem to be the only ones picking up kills consistently for these guys in this series. but it's not enough. They're down 6, not much time to work with, and you got to note as well, EUnited has all these abilities, all these streaks in the back pocket. They pick up 3 again. They get drone control. Gunless is starting to go in that mode where he doesn't miss.
And think about the other side, you know, how EUnited basically said, you know, if we slow down General, we slow down this team. This is, I mean, he's usually a lock for being positive, at least through most games. Do you think it's, you know, his role is sort of a slower AR he can be, and playing this fast, aggressive ERAD type game on Frost? Is that part of the problem, or just sort of a team-wide effort right now as EUnited's rolling?
I think it's just team-wide. Gunless getting so darn aggressive. Another 3-piece for him. Going to start earning more streaks. Has the camo if he needs it, but he's not going to. Gets that dunk in, earning his streaks back-to-back again. Going to get closer to the Trinity Rocket, and I love it. He doesn't waste any time, calls it out. They know that he knows the other team's going to overextend. He calls the bombardment to help out his teammate, picks up 1. Still he gets the call out that his last player's behind him. Gets gunned, gets punched actually, but Gunless still alive over towards the middle. They're making this look real easy.
Gunless 5 more in a row, drone in front. He's like, not for me right now, guys. He's hot. He's pushing forward, almost gets tagged up from behind, but Pristini able to clean up the kill. He's 100 off the Trinity Rocket, and he's got a couple here back towards mid-map. Just spotted 1, should have an easy kill in just a moment as he goes to hunt it down. There's the first, second. He's able to finish him off, but he did get another Trinity Rocket. What's it, 3 called in so far for EUnited? Likely going to be a 4th before these final 2 minutes are done.
We don't see it too often where teams use it to get the spawn kills, and I don't know why we don't see it more often. It's an easy way to get the players to make a bad play, because otherwise they're going to get blown up. They have to go to a position very quickly, get out of position. But now we see E6 trying to move this drone up very quickly over towards the middle of the map. The drone does fall, though. Proto going to be the last one alive, trying to do his best. He does pick up a couple, but he needs a lot more help. Yeah,
everybody right now negative for the side of Enigma6. And on the other side of things, I mean, Gunless and Arcides have just been having a party on the side of Enigma6's zone. This has been brutal. I mean, it's not maybe as one-sided as we saw earlier with Splice EG, but honestly, the games 2 and 3 feel a little bit similar in the sense of the score lines.
Well, there's the classic camo. The slides around. Gunless puts it in. Probably picks up the kill as well. The snap. Yep. I like it. He's just hanging out right now.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, right? Like, I wonder if there's even any comms for EUnited. I feel like they're just having fun, just roaming the map like they're playing a pub right now. As more drop at mid-map, the drone yet again pushed forward towards sub-bay. Gunless, snap on 1, not able to finish the second. Teammates, though, over the top. And right now, this is your only game plan. If you're Enigma6, grab the drone, attempt to sprint forward. Unfortunately, you're sprinting forward into the bullets of the opposition.
Looks like another streak was burned there. General decides to camo to try and get out of his base, but it doesn't matter. Gunless spawn kills him again with the Trinity. 32 and 15 for Gunless. 33 and 20 for Arcides. This game just got out of hand so quickly in that second half. And that's something EUnited is just so darn good at doing. When they get the advantage, it reminds me sort of how Optic played last year. When they got that lead, they snowballed it out of control so quick. And man, just spawn kills after spawn.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know like what percentage of spawns for Enigma6 came into either streaks or gunfire, like, or the decision to wrap back or overextend, like just time and time again. 4 different times, right? We saw the Trinity Rocket get called in basically on spawn, and every time it seemed to happen, there was somebody set up that had the angle to pick up the kills. That was a fantastic effort by EUnited, and one of those efforts that shows you why they are a top 2 team in the world.
Definitely, and that's a momentum game if I've ever seen one. How demoralizing it is if you're on the side of E6 where you spawn in, and almost every single time on that second half, you have to decide, do I want to die by a bombardment on the overextend or a Trinity Rocket on the wrap back?
Yeah, too bad
it's not fun.
Too bad they didn't have like a multiple choice. They could choose, right?
Not fun.
Instead of just looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very tough for Enigma6. After they started out very, very well, but I know what we talked about early. It just feels like no matter what the series score is, Enigma6 is going to, or sorry, EUnited is going to fight back. I'll tell you about the ease that start both of these. I'm surprised I haven't mixed that up more throughout today, but again, EUnited just showing, man, they are never out, and now they have advantage in this series, 2-1. And I remember when you were talking about the game 4, that's where you thought it was very heavily favored for EUnited, right, when going into retaliation?
Yeah, definitely. I thought that uplink was going to be the only saving grace if E6 was going to extend this series out to that throwback map 5. I have to say, I think it's going to end here, especially after that one. You can see EUnited, I don't know if they eventually just warmed up or they got confident or exactly what sort of changed on that map for them, but man, they're confident, they're putting up the gestures, and they're having a good time.
Well, you talked about momentum, and I think you saw that there on the shot of E6. You know, as hyped as they were after the game one, you take a look at them now, and it just looked like everyone's kind of defeated, irritated, whatever it is, arguing with each other a little bit, maybe what went wrong there, but there's nothing much to talk about. I mean, the way that second half went, it's like the opening 60 seconds, you felt like the game was over on that second side.
But especially, like, you're just having to get yourself out of an impossible situation. So many score streaks, so many payload abilities. Like, it's not even coming down to a lot of skill at that point. It's just so much, you know, it happened in the first half. That's where they really lost the game. You can't get frustrated on that second half. And if I was upset, honestly, it'd be in that search and destroy. They didn't play that one well at all.
What did you even earn? What did they have streak-wise going into the second half? Was it just gunless with, like, the Trinity, or did they have more than that? Didn't they earn pretty much all the streaks in the second half?
I believe they had 2 sets, but
did they? Okay.
It may have just been gunless, and then gunless had that sort of sequence that got arsenal.
Yeah, because I thought they just sort of, I mean, it seemed like second half was 4-2, and then 8-1, they just destroyed them. Gunless with an MVP performance there, 33 kills, above a 2-0 KD, and 6 scores to go with it. I mean, that's why we talk about him being a very short list of top players in the game. Absolutely phenomenal player, and he gets it done. And again, back to the point, they felt if they could slow General down, not have him let those games that he goes off, which is typically just about every game, that was a frustrating one. They didn't even allow him to get involved. Like, they didn't allow anyone to get involved over the course of that second half. That was punishing gameplay.
Yeah, it was very quality drone control on that first half as well. We're not used to seeing that drone move up towards that blue side, but they were perfectly okay with it. They just held the drone there, and it didn't allow E6 to get to that strong side of the map so easily. You had to worry about taking the drone all the way across the map over towards ship.
You saw what United then did on the other side, right? It seemed like every time we went to the drone, it was just kind of toss forward, over and over again towards that power position where they could find kills.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was never on that side of the map in the first half, right? You have stronger sides of the map in this game. Pretty much on any map, usually there's sort of a preferred side, non-preferred side. There, you handle business on the non-preferred. When you get to the stronger side, you absolutely just demolish them.
Yeah, quality gameplay overall. E6, just a very frustrating one for them in that. And just, I don't really know what they could have done. It was really as simple as not getting out slayed that heavily. Once the score streaks come into play, once you allow Gunless that freedom with that ERAD, you could see he just snaps, dominates, and stays alive.
The key, and we've talked about it a lot, but it's just the streaks. Like, we've seen teams win when you get out slayed, it happens, but teams don't usually win when you give up 4 to 5 sets of streaks. So that's where it just becomes very scary, and that's true for any of the respawns, really, on any map. I mean, Frost, what's funny, though, I think we've talked about the fact on this particular map that streaks aren't as good compared to some. Like, if you think about how much more open something like a throwback is, or retaliation, these different maps and how good score streaks can be. Frost, we don't usually see them use it much, but the fact that they were hitting them off spawn, like you were saying,
I think we need to see that more on Uplink.
Yeah.
Where you can catch that timing, you pull up your scoreboard, and you see that sort of skull go away from the other team. Perfect time to call it. On every single uplink, you have that open spawn on the other team if you get that clean wipe, so you can really snowball it out of in your favor.
All right, well, it's Retaliation Hardpoint up next. We're in our second best of 5. We still have several to come today. If you're just tuning in, this will be followed by Envy versus Luminosity. The final match of the night will be FaZe versus Optic. So we'll have all 4 of our first round matches today. We've got 6 more matches tomorrow and our final 4 on Sunday, all fighting for $500,000. But for now, let's see if Enigma6 can fight back here in the Hardpoint.
Going to need General and Cade to step it up like they have been in this entire series. But just it seems like all 4 players on the side of EUnited just too darn strong. Some nice shots, a good grenade from Proto to open up early. So they should be able to get some easy opening control. A lot of hardpoint time. When you get this first wave of kills, it's pretty easy to get a 25, 35-point lead here on Bridge.
General, man, it's just with a beam right now with the MV4 from distance, but right back at you. Gunless pulls out the MV4. We've seen teams start to pull out, 4 MV4s, a little bit more. Heck, we saw Formal pull out a sniper in week 4 off the break. All the fights happening at range, but I want to ask you, Teep, again, Gunless finds another at range. We saw Enigma6 able to take that first hardpoint map. We thought that'd be a pretty big fight going into the first one. Why do you feel so confident about EUnited when it comes to hardpoint on Retaliation?
They can play at whatever pace they want to on this map. Scorch is naturally going to be faster. Those close quarter gunfights, they can really dictate the pace. And the reason I say it's going to favor them so heavily is they're so versatile. Honestly, Gunless can use whatever weapon he wants and be a top player with any of them. I don't think you can really say that about a lot of other players. If he has an NV4 or an ERAD, he's going to be probably putting up the similar stats.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Another player that comes to mind, we saw Krim swapping. It was one of the more impressive things, just swapping between weapons pretty much every map. There aren't that many people that do it. but it can be incredibly effective. Taking a look at the score line, all but a tie game right now as we're into lower street. Proto in a spot to come in from behind, hasn't been able to connect with any shots there. Arcides soars right at him. But the next set of rotations are the big ones, right? When we get out to Graveyard, get across the broken building, this is where we might see some real separation.
And this is exactly what I love to see from Arcides. You can see how long that number 7 on your minimap just stayed alive, allowed his teammates to get his spawns, and now he just needs to hold. They just need to stay alive at market. They're going to back up here in just a second. They don't really care about this hard point time. They're playing this map so well, and Arcides set that play up before they probably even knew.
It really did, and I was just about to say, look at the perfect spawns you have for United, but a couple players were able to sneak out the backside of Hotel. I don't know if it was a miscommunication for United or they needed one more person there to hold that down.
Why did Pristini go to get that scrap time? It was a bit of a mistake. Now Arcides gets flanked out. Pristini was the one that messed that entire play up.
It's like no one was watching that doorway. When you're coming out the backside of Hotel, two players just came out. I think one might have come from the other side on curb, but they both get in. They're able to push through. Can we go over to Ruiz real quick, just because he's picked up 4 kills in a row. I want to see how close he is to streak. So he's going to get pressure coming now. Everyone's going to fly him. Can he find 2 kills is the question. One over the top, gets the first, can't find another, so the streaks will stop short there. EUnited, though, with an easy break here to get right back in control.
Yeah, that was a bit too easy. E6 did not hold strong at all. EUnited picks up the first couple of kills, makes the other team spawn out, and they get the easy break. That should have been an easy, 40, 50 seconds on the side of EUnited, or E6, sorry. There is some sort of hard point time going back in the favor of E6 now, which is good, but look at this rotation.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, you just lost 10 seconds there because you called out a Scarab, and I think Proto comes in and gets the kill, so you don't have gun up. You give up the 10 points, which is a little bit awkward, but you're set up now for Destroy Building. You're able to spawn right in and be ready to go with your team. And now it should be back-to-back solid hard points for EUnited if they can remain control. Can we go to Arcides real quick? I just want to see where he is on streaks. He, 4 in a row, 175 off. He sees the push coming in. 2 teammates have hit drop. Similar to what we saw on the other side. Let's see if he can go ahead and clutch up. No. he shot a little bit wild on the first player sliding across.
Now, tough situation for EUnited. E6 holding strong over towards the back. Some easy gunfights going in as the team shots go down over towards Bridge. And now I love to see the way the pressure up on the map. Emery's getting a little bit loud as he got that kill on Bridge. 12 and 6 for him. Quality start, and he's really the player that has been sort of lackluster in kills throughout this series. He's finally lighting up, and that's exactly what they're going to need if they're going to take this one and force a map 5.
They absolutely are. They're still in control of this game for a hard point. You said to me before the uplink you thought it was going to go to a game 5. Maybe the mind changed a little bit after how the uplink went, but you still see Enigma6 fighting strong right now. Proto and Ruiz getting it done on the slang end. General, not maybe where you'd expect him to be on a map like this where you think he would dominate. He started out really well on Bridge, but now as we're into the hotel hallway, EUnited starting to get back in control. Lock down some time.
Scrappy gunfights going down over towards this top hallway side. E6 holding strong, though, in the kill category. General, the most important thing, yeah, he is a bit negative, but the rest of his team finally giving him some help. There's only so many kills that can happen in a given map, so doing a good job of trading. 20 seconds of scrap here at the rest of Hotel. Another 3 dead. Quality, pressure on both sides of Hotel. They're playing this absolutely perfect. Arcides does gun him, and now split spawn situations coming in. E6 chip away a lot of time here, though.
This is where you think EUnited want to close this out. Their best game mode at 75% win rate was hard point. They were right up there. I mean, the only other team I could think that was much better was Optic at 100%. So EUnited has been very solid here in one of their better maps, but they're fighting from behind. Now trailing by 30. The lead has continued to grow for Enigma6. But as we rotate out to our second set of rotations, Gunless is inside trying to play his life, wisely backing up as the nades come flying in. Going to swap spots with his teammate, checking towards Hotel. Not able to get eyes on anybody. Silly going to drop. Arcides down as well. Gunless, the lone man standing, but he's got to wait for his teammates to pop up and help him here, buddy.
It just seems like EUnited a bit weak on this bridge of getting pressure on that wall run side. Yeah, you can focus all day on the top street, but if you're not focusing on that jump up as well, going to cause you some problems. E6 doing a good job of winning those initial gunfights on that right side to get some of this time back. 15 seconds of scrap here. Looks like EUnited going to be able to win it pretty easily unless Proto picks up this double. Nope, gets traded out. So pretty even game so far. After this first hard point, General picks up 2, gets to scrap, and a bit of a quality lead.
And Gunless, I think, was another player that dropped just a kill or two off of picking up streaks. And this map, when you say if you had to pick a map most important for streaks, probably hardpoint and retaliation, it's got to be up there if it's coming down the stretch. And a couple have fallen just a little bit short. You saw Gunless trying to play his life really to pick those up, not able to do it. Those shots were all over the planet.
Getting close to camo too, so need to focus on Gunless as those rotations follow up pretty soon. I believe Proto's the one using camo on the side of E6, but the slang has been here on this map. Proto and Emery's, the two that have been sort of struggling, finally stepping it up. It's good to see both of them +7, locking down the top platform, which is so important for this lower street, winning huge gunfights.
You mentioned game one. They just need two guys to kind of step it up and help out General. And you got to think at some point General's going to erupt. He started to pick up some time in the hard point. Last time we highlighted him 0. He's now got it up to 45 seconds. But Proto and Ruiz are having absolutely brilliant games. You see Ruiz snapping right now, shutting down everybody, pushing through market, but finally he will drop. Proto, though, still set up inside, a one-on-one to pick up the time, and there he's able to gun Silly. That two-man team, man, Proto and Ruiz keep it going. They're going to lock up. That one-on-one probably got a good, 20 seconds or so?
Absolutely huge, and we have to note E6 was getting those closer spawns over towards market, so each kill that they were getting were so more important, but EUnited somehow picks up 2 again. Proto needs to pick up 1 and pop this camo if he has any chance of holding here. Does he decide to pop it? Nope. Things too out of hand too quickly. I'm glad he didn't pop it there. They have a quality lead. 30 seconds to scrap here. There's one player that spawns out on the other side of the map, which is Pristini. Not sure why he's...
I was almost... Well, the reason I was pointing, I was almost saying, like, why don't you just stay there?
He should have.
I mean, there was, 30 seconds left? Look at... So let's see when he actually gets to the hard point. So 15 seconds. So 15 seconds basically across the bridge. And now look...
all the way back.
Can we go to the number 1, which is Proto? You'll see Proto is basically hiding underneath.
Right.
This is where Pristini could have been, or maybe finding this kill if he didn't push across bridge. What do you think his thought process was there? Get back, group up, and retake?
Bonehead plays from Pristini in this one, to be quite honest. Proto does have this camo. Does pick up the player.
He gets the whole way back, by the way.
Yeah.
So even though he ran the whole way there, it took 15 seconds to run there, 15 seconds to run back.
Just a huge mistake, though. He could have been in a better position and ready for a gunfight. Most importantly, Silly going to be the last one alive for EUnited now, as he is in this 1v1. He does win it, but is going to get traded out. So Pristini, 2 plays, honestly, we saw at Cathedral, and we just saw it there. We can see it on the minimap. It's like, hey, wait, where are you going? Stop it, go back. He doesn't do it, gets caught out, and now E6 breaks again. Pristini making bad plays.
Well, Gunless trying to pick up the slack, though, with the camo. Unfortunately, the only person there is your teammate, so he camos into a cleared building. Some kills were going down, though, on the other side, but it does not end up mattering. So 15 seconds left here. EUnited will be able to bring this a little bit closer. Ruiz has dropped his Centurion in the hotel hallway. We'll have to see what kind of effect that has on this next hard point.
Need to start making some better decisions if EUnited is going to take this hard point. I really thought they were going to take this one easily. E6 fighting so strong, though. Have a 30-ish point lead going into hotel hallway. They did a good job of winning it on the first time around, but I don't expect that to be the same this time. It seems like the slang from EUnited is back. Arcees picks up 3. I don't know how he's able to do it with that with an NV4. Huge gunfight wins.
Yeah, especially in hotel hallway, right? Unless he gets set up on one of the opposite blocks, but you can see he's doing it here from the mid. Finally cut down. Cade with a 2-piece. Pristini trying to answer back. The FTL jump would get the better of him, but doesn't have enough bullets. Finally able to win it. Cade starting to streak at the most opportune time. 3 in a row. 4th out to his right. The timing he just got there. No. Oh, God. Oh. That was going up against a reactive armor. A bit of an awkward gunfight, but man, what a streak there from Cade.
Lining up at the perfect time. Gunless answering back, though. Picks up 1 in the hill. Gets a second with his gun. Should be able to almost tie up this score. General has something to say about it, though. Reactive armor at the ready. Scrap time going into EUnited's favor. And we've seen this so many times on this map going towards this bridge. I don't think there's too many streaks at the ready. The win difference maker should be General's reactive here.
Well, in game 1, Enigma6 was able to win the clutch moments and get the victory. Now we're going to bridge. Basically a tie game. General cut down by Pristini, but Cade, his buddy, there to pick it up. Inside is E6. Now we've got a Scarabout, just looking to back up Silly, able to get a little bit of information there. It'll be Cade inside. You see the X-ray, everybody flying forward. General pops the reactive armor now. 1, 2, not able to win it. Gunless gets the better of him. Cade, though, again, trading it out. They only need 20 more points here, and E6 is pushing to game 5, baby.
Looks like they're going to do it. 25 seconds left in this hard point. They only need about 12. They're able to win the first. EUnited stacking up towards this streak. There's only 1 player alive. Gunless, can he do it by himself? No, he's taken out. That's going to be the game. 250 to 205. We're going to map 5. I can't believe it. My prediction completely wrong.
Answer me this, buddy. If I had told you on Retaliation that Enigma6 was going to beat EUnited and General would have the least kills on his team,
Nope.
You would have told me I was out of my goddamn mind. But they get it done, man. Cade, Ruiz, Proto, all going big, man. The other three stepping it up large for the squad. And now we've got a game 5. Now this is what's interesting. So you heard Proofy. He said if this goes to a game 5, we were looking at the stats throughout the course of the weeks, and Enigma6 statistically for their week was one of the better throwback teams. They went 2-0. EUnited went 0-2. So when you're looking through breakdowns, it says they're the worst. EUnited, though, historically, over the course of the year, I asked Aix, he's like, they are insane. They are very, very, very good. I think we're in for a treat.
I feel like this one's going to go deep into this search and destroy. The one thing I've seen from EUnited lately on Throwback is they haven't really played that same aggressive style. Going back to when they won against Optic in Atlanta, you remember that last map Throwback where they just ran. They just went. So much confidence. I don't think we've really seen that since that moment, and especially losing a hard point like that. And man, I really don't like pointing out individual players. Pristini single-handedly cost them, I would say, around 50, 60 seconds that alone.
Depending on how the play goes, if he gets set up.
But still, like he didn't focus on the spawns. He didn't focus on helping Arshades most importantly. And that's really what you need to focus on rotations.
I'll tell you what, for those of you watching at home, it's game 5 time for the $500,000 playoff. Tweet the stream. We'll be right back after this quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, welcome back. It is time for our first Game 5 of the weekend. Who's going to be moving on to play Splice? Who's going to be taking a trip to the loser's bracket to take on Evil Geniuses? We'll know in about 10 minutes.
I'm so pumped for this map 5. the series is kind of going backwards. I really thought EUnited going to take care of these hard points fairly easily. Completely opposite happens. E6 holding strong. The slaying was there. They finally got that full support on that retaliation. It's cool to see momentum, though, in their favor going into throwback.
Yeah, and like not to like knock E6 at any point. I mean, we come into the series, and the fact of the matter was, EUnited's heavy favorite. There's no way around that whatsoever. I mean, they play the top teams tougher than anyone, but right now, at risk of being shocked, I mean, this would blow, I think, everybody's mind. I mean, anyone I talked to amongst the talent, analysis, whoever, we were speaking, everyone. Okay, Ben, I see you looking over here. Analysis is also talent. Ben, you're a very smart man. But anyone we spoke to was just like, this is maybe not going to be as lopsided as the first series, but it should be a blowout for United. And it has been all but that. God, man. Are you excited for Game 5?
I feel like this is going to be extremely good. The one thing we have to note, though, E6 did not play that Crusher well at all. There are so many situations where they did steps 1 and 2 right, and when it came to just doing the simple things, setting up close and picking up kills, they just kind of made some silly mistakes, threw those rounds away, and got out of hand too quickly.
Well, are you okay? So we talked about EUnited, how sometimes it just seems like they don't care. They just come back in situations they should not. Were you impressed by? So when we shot the shot of Enigma6 after they lost the uplink, they look. I mean, to be fair, they got demoralized. They look completely defeated. Like there was no team chatter, and then you come back and win a map like that.
That's huge.
How? I mean, I know there were some plays we talked about Bristini, but like overall, that was beautiful from E6, man.
Quality gameplay. Ruiz, honestly, how many 2Ps did he get on rotation specifically to really open up the doors? I think that one he got over towards Market Cathedral side that got them, what, single-handedly 45 seconds.
Yeah, and then he had that crazy, 3-piece where he FTL'd, killed one, got into that close corner, and got a lucky sort of timing.
Oh, yeah, I think that was
the reactive armor guy.
Cade, though.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Was it Cade? Yeah. So, but it was a lot of the guys coming up clutch that sometimes don't. They're making big plays. And remember, the game could have been a blowout early if it wasn't for Proto and Cade. Was Proto Ruiz going off really big early.
Right.
I think they were both 18-11, something like that, as everyone else was slacking behind. That was a crazy game.
Especially, how much confidence does that instill in General? Usually he's the one that has to carry the load on his back. I feel like going into this one, General might have a crazy game here.
Okay, well, here we go. On one side, you got Mr. Always Earns Camo and Gunless. We'll have to have eyes on him. RCD's typically going to pull out the sniper. We saw Bristini doing it on Crusher. But who is it going to be here? It's going to be, it is going to be Bristini. So, okay, so we've seen RCDs do it here as well. Bristini and Proto are going to be the snipers now. We're going to go with Proto off the break and see what he's able to do on offense now for Enigma6.
Proto's been nasty with the sniper. He hit so many crazy shots in week 4 of his group. Ooh, spots that player over towards that top wall run. Not able to catch him, though. The snap did go down.
I wouldn't be able to react to that quick.
Not at all. Gunless getting a pretty aggressive over towards train tracks. Picks up one and decides to go on the wide flank. No, decides to juke back, and I love the play there. He jukes out the kill cam, so he knows the teammate's going to call out that flank. RC's hops over, gets the second blood there. Huge plays.
It's now going to be on Proto and General to try and clutch up. General's already found one kill. Proto should have a kill in window. A little bit of an awkward angle there as he comes across. But you do have a man with Bristini still with just a sniper, so you have a chance to clutch up in this situation. General and Proto, now it's just Bristini. He has the pistol, turned into 1v1, 14 seconds left, and he will drop. That was what, it was 2v4, 2v3 that they're able to clutch up?
Oh, I thought United was going to take that round easy.
No, it was 2v4, right?
2v4, yeah, exactly. Proto able to pick up that first kill on a Gunless in that top window with the pistol, and that was the game changer there. Then everything sort of falls apart on the side of United, and the fact that Proto able to get that sort of lucky timing in that top green area, so clutch.
And that's why we talk about the fact that snipers are liabilities. If you don't get kills early with them, absolutely a liability. You saw there, Bristini, if he had a different gun in hand, he's probably able to win that, or it doesn't even get to that situation because he's able to help out a little bit more. Now, though, hit marker over the top on one of the Enigma6 players, tries to back him down. Unfortunately, picks the wrong side with the grenade, so can't finish it. RCs will be dead any moment.
Cheeky spot there from Emery's, catches the player in the back, and now 2-man advantage for E6 as they go on this retake. Silly and Gunless going to be the last ones alive. One player pinned in this corner should get taken out, and there it is. Easy round. Easy round.
E6, and they look sloppy in the game 2 Crusher. Nothing like that now in game 5. What a win this would be. And this just, in a way, just flips the bracket on its head for most.
That, man, if EUnited gets slotted into the loser bracket early, they could just, I don't know, I don't want to say cruise, but definitely make things interesting down there.
When we all talked kind of our top 3s, I think we basically, for the most part, It was Optic EUnited. I think LG might have been the most consistent that we heard. Yeah. FaZe obviously in that as well. But everyone pretty much had them finishing somewhere in that top 3. It would be a very difficult route if they lose here. On with Proto again. He's looking up top. Not able to find the kill yet. They were able to clutch up a 2v4 last time on offense. What sort of magic do they muster here in round 3?
Yeah, kind of interesting. They have the bomb in General's hands right now. He's playing alone over towards blue, and now that's going to drop. So I'm not sure if they're going to notice that it's actually dropped there. Proceeding with a nice, confident gunfight, though. Gets the first blood. We're used to seeing it so many times from him. Emery's getting confident up towards Lemon. Gives his position away, gets caught out. Man, didn't have any help there.
What's a 2v4 when you're Cade and Proto?
Yeah, true. They did it the first
well,
one.
Proto was involved, but let's see. Proto still has yet to die. Cade has found a gun as well. They've synced up. There's 40 seconds to go on the clock. And you're not really grouped up necessarily if you're EUnited, but you're in position that you should be able to trade these kills effectively. And it's just going to be a time on the clock type issue at this point. You've got 30 seconds. You have to get the bomb down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're even going to try and go for the plant. Proto does spot that flare over towards sidewalk. Gets caught out from middle, though. Cade stuck in the 1v4. Does pick up one, so a bit of a saving grace there for him. EUnited cleans out, and I just don't understand why. It's okay for General to be playing blue by himself. Why does he have the bomb? That doesn't make any sort of sense. Is that just a mistake early in the round? Do they not adapt to that sort of situation? It makes the round so much more difficult for your teammates.
Well, I mean, think this could very easily, though, be a 2-1 advantage for EUnited if round 1 goes a little bit differently.
Very true.
E6 still holding on. I don't think we're going to see EUnited throw another 4v2 situation, but now it's going to be offense. An aggressive hit out towards the B site looks to be the play from EUnited, but it's General. He got first blooded last time on the opposite side. This time he's able to pick it up on Gunless, and that's a big kill early in rounds, and you're able to take out the camo player. Gunless has had a bit of a slow start, right? He's got a ways to go, only 1-3, has a plant to his name. That's a huge first pick for General.
Definitely, especially it slows their push over towards that top side of the map. Arceus a bit open here. He is going to have this Scarab. Does it go by and not see him? So he might be able to catch some timing here. No, General was at the ready, wins that gunfight. Now gives them a 2-man advantage, 2 versus 4 now. Sort of similar situation as his last round. Silly and Pristini stuck in this one.
Silly and Brasini pushing up into courtyard. I want to hop to General real quick. General number 4, he's working on the ace. Should come up behind a couple here. His teammates actually able to clean him up. He had 2. I thought he might be able to pick up the ace, but they push on through, and the round is able to go to EUnited. Or sorry, E6.
Yeah, this is the confidence we didn't see in that map too. General just getting so aggressive. I thought that sort of Scarab timing was going to pay off for Arceus, but General just at the ready. Gets that gunfight. Such a quick reaction there. Doesn't miss any shots. Just melts those first 2 players.
Proto now has put the sniper away for the time being. I think they have on both sides of it. 3-1 advantage for Enigma6. Cade at mid-map going to get cut down. Brastini finds the first blood with the MV4 over the top. 3v4 situation. What are you seeing, Teep?
Sure, Pro's going to be able to get that gunfight. General answers back, though, so makes it a pretty favorable situation. They do have the bomb down. EUnited going to have to spread out and try and pick up these kills, and time going to be in E6's favor the more this goes on. Proto with a nice play. He put away the sniper, has this K-bar. Some trades going down. I think General picks up the last 2, if I read that kill feed right. And just an easy round. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the map number 2 from them. They're making these changes. Emery's does pick up the last one out of the trade over towards Proto. And I like Proto putting away that sniper. He knows he wasn't really getting too much off of it early in the rounds. He gets that K-bar, picks up an easy kill. Just straightforward round.
Well, we've seen some crazy comebacks for EUnited. We've talked about it many, many times. Now they need to pull off one of those. Down 4-1. Gunless not even halfway to his camo. The bomb plant will likely get him there. General playing the lone man on that B side. Proto going to be the first in towards the bomb defensively. And look how close he is to picking up his camo. One here at the edge. Did he see a foot? I think he did. He saw a foot, able to tag him up. Hasn't finished it yet. Gunless able to get the plant. Should be taken out. He is cleaned up finally. But a little bit more towards that camo for Proto.
Tough situation now. Proto stuck very quickly in this 1 versus 3. Some nice shots. They line up.
He has camo.
He has camo at the ready as well. 30 seconds left now. He finds the player, picks him up. The 3-piece from Proto and the defuse. Oh my God.
Proto, you beast. He came into this weekend with a 1-2. In search and destroy. He carried the load in that game mode during their week of stage 1. And holy hell, that was a beauty.
Oh man, a bit fortunate on those first 2 players. Didn't burn the camo either.
Nice, screw you.
Yeah, he's gonna have that at the ready. Oh my God, what a play. I didn't think they had any chance in hell to get that one, but fortunate, able to get those nice shots onto those first two players. Gets back to the bomb site for the cover. Oh man, close to streaks now as well. 175 away from the Trinity and has the camo.
Enigma6 looking to shock the world in round one. Like you said, Proto here with camo. Is he going to pop this and try to get aggressive? Maybe hold on to it for now as they are wrapping back. The bomb has been planted. They're in a 4v4 scenario. First blood, though, is going to go the way of Pristini as he opened things up. EUnited has such a fight here to battle back.
It's a lot of information from this guy. Needs to blow it up and be ready with the gun, but no, he's taken out. 2 versus 3 now situation. Emery's in a pretty good spot, though. He's going to try and spot out this bomb, give information to his teammate. He gets gunned, though. No, this one you have to win. They instantly hop the bomb. The FTL gets the kill, but RC trades. And, man, I like the play there. He could have caught that timing. Luckily, for the side of EUnited, RC was there to get the trade. That was quick.
Oh, we got the whole analysis desk is on their feet right now, except for Merc. I'm looking at you. This is insane. I thought there was a glimmer. I was like, if he can just get that FTL forward, pick up the kill, but he would have had a second to go ahead and gun. EUnited still holding strong. Oh, more like holding on by a thread.
Yeah, barely. Barely. Almost another sick clutch, the 1 versus 3. Almost back-to-back to close it out. EUnited now trying to do their best to fight back to get this comeback to stay alive in the winner bracket. Proto getting aggressive over towards this bottom site again. This A site has really been nice to him. Brasini does find this first player. He's been so good at getting these first bloods. Does he get another? Yes, he does. So damn good at it. 7 and 6. At least half those are first bloods.
Oh my God! It's like, do you ever feel like EUnited's going to go away? Well, how many 5-1 comebacks are there? You probably count them on one hand.
Yeah, for sure. Proto now getting caught out at the sidewalk. Teams are just not very good at watching these sidewalks on either side. I don't really know why. RC's on a bit of a streak now. K does get one, so they have a fighting chance here. 1 versus 3 scenario. Almost able to get it in that last one. Putting another. Oh, some bad shots. Not able to pick up that first player. Okay, that wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was going to win that regardless, but
yeah.
Maybe she got a kill there in the top window. But round by round, EUnited fight back. They've done it all year. Can they do it again here in round 1? And on the other side, Enigma6 looking for that final round to pull off one of the better upsets we've seen in quite some time.
And EUnited can do this. They're getting close to some streaks, I'm pretty sure. Arcides has that Centurion at the ready. And when is Proto going to decide to pop that camo? 175 away from streaks. Arcides can sort of single-handedly bring his team back in this one. And E6, though, not wasting any time getting this bomb down. I like the play from them. A retake attempt again. E6 should have the advantage. A wide flank coming in from General. The camo's finally popped from Proto. The first blood lined up for him. Does pick up the first. 2 more players get traded.
But the trade does go the way of E6 still. His gunless is going to drop, so no camo for him yet. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 2. Cade, and Emery's Cade shots over the top, not able to finish it from range. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. They have to hunt him down at back boss. They have to make plays here. They've tagged him up, trying to back up, able to win it, hops out the map, and able to get back in. There it is. Enigma6 shocked the world with a round 1 upset over EUnited.
Wow. That's huge. I can't believe it.
And it's like, all right, I understand it. These are the top 8 teams in the world. But you're looking at, number 2, basically going up a team where you would think kind of 7-8 coming into this. Like, this is wow. What a performance there. What's the biggest thing for you that stood out? Is it the other players kind of rallying around General here and having such a big series?
I really think it is. They finally got that full support. We've seen all the teams that struggle here in Stage 1 in the Pro League. They don't get that group performance. Finally, we see E6 get a huge win versus a top opponent. We saw them play Optic pretty close in the group. Now they play against EUnited. They get this first win. They're going to match up against Splice later on tomorrow. That's huge momentum.
If you're Splice, you're like, okay.
Yeah, I guess happy with that.
I guess we'll take that with how EUnited's been playing. But God, what a performance from Enigma6. I gotta hear from my man Proto.
All right, guys. All right, we're getting Proto all set up here. Proto, first of all, massive congratulations. How's the team feeling right now?
We're feeling good. We're like arch enemies with EUnited, I guess you could say. We're good friends with them, but we like playing each other. And this was to tie it up because, actually, no. We beat them once and they beat us once, and this is now we won. So
taking the lead, and it's looking good. Now, early on, it was looking pretty dire for you. You had a pretty strong start in the hard point, and then Crusher, Search, and Destroy came around. You guys were getting constant first bloods and then falling apart. What went wrong in game number 2?
I feel like because I'm one of the more strong S&D players on the team, I couldn't get anything going for us, and since I wasn't doing anything, it kind of costed us, to be honest.
And then we saw the uplink. This was your strength throughout all of group play. Game 3 didn't go your way, but you were able to bounce back in the hard point. What did you guys talk about going into that game number 4?
We just need to have a good start off and play our own game. We couldn't play their game, and we had to beat them on rotation, and that's exactly what we did.
$500,000 up for grabs this weekend. You guys are now one step closer to that first place, which is $200,000. How does it feel right now knowing that you'll be playing Splice in the second round?
It feels good. Can't underestimate them. They're a really good team. Last time we played them, they 3-0'd us. But like I said, we got to play our game, and I think we'll be fine.
We got a lot of people watching this weekend. Anything you want to say to the fans out there? Anything that they should know about your team?
Thanks for supporting us, and just look out for us.
Look out for Enigma6. That's Proto. For now, though, let's send it back to Benson at the desk.
Thank you very much, Puckett. A fantastic result there for Enigma6. You can call it an upset, essentially, but I want to point out
it's an upset.
I already know what you're going to say. Bold prediction winner right here.
Go.
I called it. Let's go.
You even called map number 1 as well. You said E6 was going to win map number 1, and then it was going to go all the way to game 5, and E6 was going to close it out. So.
Exactly. Might not have won the past 3 years, but I won this prediction, baby. Let's go.
Hey, man, take it, take it. It was a 3-2 victory, of course, that to Enigma6. A fantastic series with epic moments, some kind of interesting moments as well, some fails coming through, a little bit of everything, but we'll recap the whole series. We'll start, of course, at map number 1. It was the hard point Scorch. It was 250 to 219. It goes Enigma6's way. Something to note, though, General getting streaks on Drill. I feel like General really was a story proof all throughout that map number 1.
Yeah, I mean, first rotation, once General was able to get heated up on Drill Hill, I think it carried that to his entire team. The momentum was there, and they weren't really able to get slowed down. He got streaks off of it, and that's what you expect from General. He's a beast. You want him to be at the top of his game for your team to win, and he was doing that for his team.
Yeah,
so good job, General.
Yeah, General's always on top as well. Always leads in slaying, not just for his team, but pretty much the entire league as well. Fantastic, but M. Ruiz stepped up to the plate as well. Not only General get those streaks, M. Ruiz helped out quite a bit. And the double streaks both being used on that bridge hill was pretty big. Again, you only win a game by 30 points. 2 guys get streaks. That pretty much can decide it right there. But again, E6's problem in response has just been inconsistencies. And when you have your whole team stepping up to the plate at certain times, it's going to be great.
And that was exactly what you were mentioning, Merc, as well. It was that E6 needed a little bit of help in making sure that they were all slaying evenly, and that's kind of what they got.
Well, what we talked about, I mean, all year long, we've talked about Proto in general and how sort of consistent they can be, how they can slay. But we looked at M. Ruiz or Cade. Can one of them step up? In game number 1, it was M. Ruiz. He has a 1.26 KD. He did great. And we sort of talked about EUnited. They can sometimes come out slow. Sometimes it takes them a little bit of time to get into the swing of things. And, you know, that's what we talked about, where E6 should definitely take this Scorch hard point.
Well, E6, they come out strong. They go 1-0 up in the series. It takes us over to the S&D on Crusher. It was a 6-2 victory for EUnited. They came out and absolutely dominated. Chance, I want to get your opinion on this one. We had that stat. It was 80% first bloods for E6 on this map, but they just don't seem to win the rounds, obviously. I mean, why? Why, in your opinion, is that?
Sometimes it's weird stuff. Sometimes they just make bad calls. I mean, you look at that round number 1. General picks up that first blood at B. The entire team rotates over. They get the bomb down. They're in that 2v2, and then I think it was M. Ruiz just kind of flies off the map and doesn't finish a gunfight. So you have weird situations like that. Then you go down the line to a later round. They get the bomb down. It's a 4v4, and they just all 4 decide to hit Rock from the outside. So they get the bomb down, but they challenge, and then they lose their gunfight. So sometimes they make play calls that just don't work out, and then sometimes weird things just happen.
Could potentially just be a bit of a pacing issue. Maybe they try and get that resolved. Something to note as well, Proof was Silly.
Silly was going off. I think he was 9-1 or something like that at one point. So, I mean, with him going off like that, it's hard to beat a team that has a player doing that.
Yeah.
So that was the only point I really had to say. I mean, Mike jumped off the map one time. I think that's with the nerves. On the Scorch hard point, he also was trying to get to the back at one point, trying to hide, ended up getting shot in the back. So just calm down a little bit, Mike. Enjoy yourself out here. You'll be good, baby. You'll be good.
It was a confusing S&D, though, Merc. It was
really confusing.
Players falling off the map. I think the strangest thing was Prestini. 0-3. You know, he has a player directly in front of him, and did he see him? What was it? Was it maybe just next level thinking?
I don't know if he saw him, but I think it might have been next level thinking. I think his teammates called called out that they are at that bomb site, so he's thinking, I'm going to leave this guy here. No, he's there. Go behind the guys that planted the bomb, shoot them. It was just a little bit too much. If he gets that kill, it's a 4v3
Maybe he's
situation.
a workaholic. He enjoys the challenge. You didn't want to shoot him in the back.
Yeah, I'm guessing he just didn't see him at all.
Potentially.
I don't know how, but yeah.
Neither do I, because
it happened.
literally right in front of him. Does it happen? Does that happen to you?
No.
No, he's dead. That guy's gone.
Okay,
He had a shield. His shield was there.
The stat sheet for the death.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
gone.
tied up 1-1, of course, after EUnited take map number 2. We then head over to the uplink, and heading in, Merc, specifically, we said, Enigma6, our uplink's so good. We saw it in groups, but it didn't really go well for them in map number 3.
Well, this is the one sort of map that they struggled on. This is the map they lost versus Optic in that last match of their group. But early on, you just saw E6. They responded because EUnited, they came out hot, got a dunk, and the game was close throughout. And there was something I wanted to touch on was EUnited, when they were attacking this blue side, they kept pushing it through blue, and that's not something we see all the time. We typically see that drone move through the ship area. There's so many options. You can go ice, you can go left, you can hit easy ones. Instead, they were trying to force it. I don't know if they were trying something different, but just a lot of bad decisions.
Of course, Gunless, who was a little missing in map number 1, Proof, when it came to this one, oh boy, was he getting some highlights.
Yeah, I mean, he started off on the first side. He got a nasty 2-piece. He kills one by ship, and then he kills another guy off of the heady, and they're able to go ahead and get a dunk off of that. So he never slowed down really from there, and he continued with that pace. So Gunless, good job getting your team involved and doing big things out there.
Yeah, and more importantly, he earns his streaks, and he immediately tail spins that into RC's getting a dunk. Then RC's picked up like a kill or two, and then they gave RC's another dunk. Gunless picks it up, and he passes it to his teammates. So he gets the streaks, opens it up for his teammates, and gets RCD streaks as well. And then, of course, as soon as that happens, the game is just blown over.
And I am really surprised that wasn't the closest game modes out of all of them. I thought the Frost was going to be just neck and neck, just crazy plays happening, but EUnited able to step up and beat E6 in their best game mode, in my opinion.
Yeah, and at this point in the series, this is what we're talking about. EUnited, they win the next 2 games. Again, sometimes they just have slow starts to series. They're a team that takes a little bit to sort of get them in the zone. Even a loss, we've seen them losers bracket come back to the final. So it's just similar to EG, where sometimes they're just not in it. But we thought at this point, you heard them laughing on stage, having fun. We all thought the series was over.
It was all good vibes going into map number 4. Didn't end good vibes, though, for EUnited. 6, they take the victory. It was 250 to 205. And again, to your point that you made earlier on, for Enigma6, everybody was slaying, but General, actually on the bottom in terms of the slaying category, you don't really see that.
When is the last time we probably would have said General had the least amount of kills on his team for a win? Probably.
Never have I ever.
Yeah. And if you're General, this makes you feel good, because I think when you're a star player at sometimes, you feel so much pressure that if you don't perform, you don't win.
Right.
And they're able to get this W. That sort of relaxes him.
Yeah, that must have made him feel good.
Right. Lets him know that, we can do this no matter what. We are a team.
And one thing to note about E6's kind of play style, I guess, chances, they're very, very good at getting leads. Throughout the group stages, you kind of saw them maybe throw away those leads, but we didn't see that here today.
Yeah, there's a couple times where against Optic, the best slaying team in the game, they got like a 100-point lead in breakout, and then they threw that away, couldn't clutch up, couldn't close the game out. And same thing on Scorch. They get the lead, and then Optic comes back and beats them like 250 to 247 and just made those last-second clutch plays. And then here, they get the lead in the hard point. Both times they're able to close out in moments where they've collapsed in the past.
Of course, you speak about clutch plays. There was one play
Cade,
that stood out to you.
Cade and Hall staying alive for at least 15 to 20 seconds, taking out 2 people, as well as a third person who was the kinetic player.
Yeah.
I don't think he was able to do anything with the kinetic, because the only person he got into a gunfight with was Cade, and he took him out.
Right.
So huge ups to him. He made some great plays for his team on that.
And that was huge, because not only did they waste reactive, Gunless used camo, and yeah, they broke the hill, but he didn't use it effectively. If he's able to hold on to that hall or bridge, maybe that comeback does happen, because it was very close to happening. But General, he has reactive. He uses it well, allows them to secure that bridge hill, and allows E6 to take this to a game 5.
Yep.
And one more thing I wanted to talk about was Pristini's fails. Like, he had 2 points where he should have rotated, and he didn't rotate it, which costed his team spawns and allowed the EUnited squad to rack up those, or the E6 squad to rack up those points. So if he actually plays the game correctly and not get too involved in trying to get kills or trying to get himself going, they win that, in my opinion.
Well, we go to that game 5, like Merc said. And at this point, Proof, you had a big old smile on your face. You kind of knew it was going to come. E6.
First prediction. Under the belt, baby. Let's go.
Good job. Good job. I'm proud of you. 6-3, the victory for Enigma6. And I think the big problem was silly. He wasn't there in game 5. And why do you think that was?
I don't know. I think Throwback is E6's best map, so I knew going into that they were like, we're going to do this, we're going to make it happen. But, you know, he didn't do too well, like 9-1 stats. He was maybe 0-9 almost at one point, or like 1-9 at one point. So if he turns that around completely, they win that.
Very true. It's also interesting to note the way the entire Search and Destroy kicked off, Chance. It was a 2v4 clutch for Enigma6. And at that point, do you think that was kind of the catalyst to them winning Game 5?
Well, I think it definitely shows kind of the flaws and problems that EUnited was having. So the bomb gets planted over by A, and even with just 2 people alive, E6 is able to hold out for the rest of the game. E6 continuously. They go back and plant A every single time, and EUnited never did anything to adjust for that. They kept letting the bomb get planted, and they kept trying to retake, and they were never successful.
And to kind of touch on that point, Merc, that was the first thing you said was EUnited in the retakes. It was just very, very poor.
Right away, we saw it again. They almost lost this 1v3. It just seemed like they weren't playing around the bomb, and they weren't getting on it. They weren't forcing E6 to sort of check that bomb site. E6, they were just playing sort of that bowling area, not checking bomb. I mean, there was a number of times I was like, you can just get on this and defuse. They were pushing towards them, which didn't make much sense to me. Have E6 come out, check that bomb.
Now, just a little bit maybe bigger picture here, because we know, you know, Enigma6, they're going to be going up against Splice. I mean, is that a winnable game for Enigma6 in your opinion, Chance, or is Splice maybe a little too strong?
Definitely a winnable game. If you can take down EUnited, if you can go toe-to-toe against Yarapi Gaming, it's definitely feasible. So E6, you could definitely make an argument they got gifted on the side of the bracket that they got put on. But yeah.
I feel like Merc may disagree with that.
I'm European this week. I'm all for it.
Well, 2 things I do want to note about both teams is we don't play European teams as much, so their playstyle will be different. But E6 also has a playstyle that is very different to American players. They really can't figure out how they play as a team too sometimes. So I'm really interested to see how that series goes.
Definitely excited for the bracket to start to develop. Of course, that game is going to be tomorrow. But the one event that we're always excited for is going to be the Call of Duty World Championship. Of course, tickets still on sale now. August 9th to the 13th. We're going to Orlando.
Get your tickets, baby.
West.
Get them tickets, baby.
I'm excited. I feel like Orlando is going to be a great event right there, Mo.
It's going to be hot. but we're going to be inside the Amway Center.
Who's going to Disney World?
We're going inside the Amway Center. It's going to be an awesome event. Obviously, the first East Coast COD champs. I'm excited to see how many people show up. It's going to be the best event of the year. Get those tickets.
I'm so excited. But before we obviously get to champs, we have stage 1 playoffs, what we're doing this weekend. Then we have the whole other stage 2 to go as well. So plenty of Call of Duty action. Anaheim's in there.
Slow down, Ben.
I know I'm getting ahead of myself. But we are now, of course, halfway through day 1 here at the Call of Duty Global Pro League Stage 1 playoffs presented by the PlayStation 4. So far for Splice and Enigma6, they've booked their ticket into the winners bracket semifinals. Still to come today, however, Optic Gaming take on FaZe Clan, and up next, Team Envious battle it out with Luminosity. Boys in blue, baby.